Hey folks, my name is Divitakar and welcome to my channel where I talk about interesting tech careers beyond software engineering and how to get them. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about salaries, which is an important subject for all of us and something that I don't think we should shy away from talking. So we're going to talk about program manager salaries in India and USA across FAANG companies. So if you don't know what FAANG means, it's Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. Some people call it manga also. It depends on what you call them. And these are not the only companies that pay so well. You should find a company that aligns with your interests, values, and your career goals. And of course, there's many companies beyond them that not even just pay this well, but also even better. But you should do what works best for you. A quick disclaimer before we get started. The goal of this video is not to brag. The goal is rather to educate you about the kind of opportunities that exist, and I know there are very few people who actually have access to companies such as FAANGs and other tech companies, and it's my sincere attempt through this channel to make it possible for more and more people to get into these exciting well-paid roles. So I hope you take it in the right spirit. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button to support me and my channel so that I can do more of this. Alright, so a quick note on my methodology because it's really important that we clarify this first before we move ahead. So rather than talking about just my salary or of my friends or my colleagues, what I've tried to do is I've tried to look through a large number of sources to make sure that I'm presenting representative numbers, right? So these are not min maxes or kind of like average salaries that you can expect, but these are just representative numbers to show you what are the kind of salaries that people make. And what I've done is I've gone through salaries across Blind, levels.fyi, and Glassdoor, and I just did not go through a couple of salaries, but a large number of them, and tried to create a representative range out of this. Also, because we're talking about both India and US salaries, please don't use this as a way to think, okay, US careers are better because you make more money there. There's of course a very big difference in purchasing power. And you can live very comfortably for the numbers that I'm going to mention below. Before we talk numbers, I think it's very important for us to know what are the components of your salary, right? So there are four broad components that comprise of your total compensation, or TC as they call it in tech world, right? So the first is base salary. This is the salary that you essentially take home, or the cash component of your salary. The second component is your annual bonus, and this is generally a minimum percentage of your base salary, assuming that you're doing a certain expected performance in the company, and of course it can go much higher. Also, an annual bonus, there could be people who are making sales bonus, and this is a part of people who are working in sales, and we'll talk more about those careers as well. Third component is stocks. Stocks is a very critical one because they can make a significant percentage of your salary, and it's very important to think of stocks not in a short-term view that this is not money that's coming to my bank account, but rather in a long-term view because you're working in this publicly traded company where you believe in the future of it, and the stocks typically grow by a very healthy percentage, which can help make employees rich by you doing well, right? And the fourth component is sign-on bonus, which is what you get while you're joining. And this does not include relocation bonus. And there could be additional benefits that are also a part of your compensation package, but we're not going to talk about those as a part of the TC that we talk about. So as a recap, TC is comprised of four key elements. First is your base salary. Second is your annual bonus. Third is your stocks. And fourth is your sign-on bonus or joining bonus. Okay, so let's talk numbers. We're going to talk about L3 to L5 salaries today, and these levels are different across different companies, so you can check them out on levels.fyi as to how they map. But broadly, L3 is like a new grad entry-level job, and Google calls it L3, Amazon would call new grads L4, Facebook calls them L3 as well, and so on and so forth. So you can check out that. I'll leave the link in the description box below. Let's talk about the L3 role first. So L3 roles are typically people who are new grads or who are coming in with say less than 5 years, 4 years of experience, and they're typically hired at L3 equivalents, right? So in the US at L3, you can make it somewhere around $140,000 to $170,000 per year as an L3 program manager. This translates broadly into 1 to 1.25 crore in Indian rupees. In India, program managers at FAANG companies at L3 would make say somewhere around 18 to 25 lakhs per annum. So as you can see, these numbers are promising and they're very exciting for people who are just joining out fresh in their careers, and certainly they help you live a comfortable lifestyle, and these grow only as you grow more senior into your respective company. At L4, now this is a level which has a lot of flexibility in it. So typically there are people from 4 to 7 years of experience, but I've also seen people with more experience come in at L4. So there's not really like a bar of how much experience they'll count over here, but it's also about a lot of relevant experience that they see. But typically 4 to 7 years of relevant experience would count as L4 in my opinion. It can change by company to company and depending on how your interviews go as well, right? So in the US, you can expect to make somewhere around $230,000 to $280,000 per year as an L4 program manager. And this roughly translates into 1.7 to 2 crores in INR. In India, L4 program managers can make somewhere around 30 to 45 lakhs per annum. Let's talk about L5 roles next. So L5 is typically 10 years of relevant experience as a program manager. It can of course go higher, and I've seen people across different companies in FAANG get hired at L5 even with say 15 or 18 years of experience. Again, it depends on your years of experience, your background, the kind of experiences that you've had, and also very importantly, how your interviews have gone. And we'll talk more about that later as well. In the US, as an L5 program manager, you can expect to make around $300 to $320,000. Of course, it can go higher as well, because as we spoke about that the years of experience can be very varying for L4 and L5. So it can of course go higher as well in many cases. These are just some representative numbers to help you get a sense of what kind of money people make. 300 to 320k US would roughly translate over 2.3 crore rupees in INR. Talking about India, again, the salary distribution over here is fairly large because, as I mentioned, that the years of experience is fairly large for L5 program managers. So in India, you can expect to make somewhere around 60 to 80 lakhs per year as an L5 program manager in a FAANG company. Alright, I hope that was helpful to get your sense of what are the kind of salaries that you can expect as a program manager in FAANG companies. Please don't use this as a way to compare yourself or determine your worth through money in any particular way. Individual careers are not zero-sum games, and they are very long journeys. So we'll get through this together through this channel, where we keep talking about roles and ways in which you can get into tech careers beyond software engineering. If you have any thoughts about salaries for program managers, or if you think I was off in any way, please comment below, and I'm more than happy to get your feedback. If you thought this was helpful, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. It would help me make more of this content. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.